fixed to an intro, so don't make me laugh. Don't embarrass me, okay? I'm doing an intro here. Don't embarrass me, all right?
I might embarrass you.
Don't embarrass me.
I might embarrass you.
Well, hey, welcome back to the channel. On this video, I'm going to show you something real simple. I see a lot of stuff on the internet about sharpening and videos for folks to spend hundreds of dollars on various sharpening stones and all kinds of stuff like that. I'm going to show you a simpler way of doing that. So again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring notification bell, and leave us a comment. Again, we sure appreciate it. Thanks. Have a good day. So let's demystify sharpening. I see videos out there on the internet where folks have spent a lot of money on sharpening equipment. I've read articles in various woodworking magazines and shop magazines about sharpening, and everybody has their own take with it. But I'm going to go back 70 years. I'm going to go back to this book here that was published in Canada. It was a shop book that was given to middle school age kids on how to do shop tasks. And one of the paragraphs in here, one of the pages talks about how to sharpen a chisel, how to sharpen a plane iron. And when you look at it, it really makes it simple. And I think we need to simplify how we do things. So the purpose of this is to show you a simple way of sharpening that also doesn't cost a lot of money. One that basically won't have you taking a loan out just to buy some sharpening equipment. So here's a drawer out of my toolbox, my woodworking box, of all the knives and chisels that I typically use. So I want to kind of cover what these are. I've got my basic Narex chisels, which are for fine woodworking, for cutting joinery, and for doing general work like this. I've got a draw knife, which I use primarily for making guitar necks and to shape necks. And if you've watched my guitar building video, you've seen me use that. In the middle of here, I have wood carving tools. And down here in this end, I've got just old, cheap chisels that I bought out of Menards in Iowa back 15 years ago. And these are basically toolbox chisels for doing some carpentry work and rough kind of work. And then down here I have my cabinet scrapers, which you saw hopefully in my video on how to sharpen those. But in all of these, you basically have the same fundamental. On these wood carving tools, you've got various types of gouges, different types of shapes that can be a challenge to sharpen. But then on chisels, you've got a nice flat edge to sharpen. So what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to take one of my chisels, I'm going to take this one right here, and we're going to sharpen it. I'm going to show you a simple way of doing that. So let's put the chisel down. I'm going to take my tool box, tool chest out of the way. I basically use this to sharpen. I use a real cheap set of diamond blades or diamond stones. These actually came from Harbor Freight. They go from 200 grit to 600 grit. You can buy this for $15. And then I have basically some Arkansas soft and Arkansas hard stone. Again, about a $15 purchase here. And then I have some pieces of wood with little strips of leather on it. You can pre-buy these from a wood carving supply house or somewhere like that. And then I have various polishing compounds going from coarse, medium to fine. And then I have this little block here. And this little block of wood here, it's designed to sharpen those tools that have a curved edge or a 90-degree angle edge. Okay, you put polishing compound here and rub it across there with a little piece of leather on the back. All in all, I have maybe 30 bucks in all my sharpening equipment. Also a little bottle of mineral oil and a spray bottle with some water in it. And that's it. Okay? So in sharpening, to keep it real simple, I made a little drawing here. And I know this seems elementary, and sometimes we need to be elementary about things. So with every blade, you have an edge. You have a back side and you have the bevel side. All you're doing, like it says in Proverbs, how iron sharpens iron, is you're taking a harder surface against the softer surface, which is your blade, and putting an edge on it. That edge has to be right there at the tip. That's common sense, right? The back needs to be flat, and we need to draw the edge against something hard to make it sharp. And you want to start with something coarse and then go up to something that's fine. So I got this chisel here. I'll first start off with my sharpening stones. I'm going to start off with 200. Well, I'm going to look at my blade first. And when I look at this blade, turn it just right, you can see it's kind of chewed up. It's got some scratches on it and so forth. However, when I look at it, I don't think I need to go down to 200 grit. I'm going to start up a little higher grit. Now, if this was rougher, I would go 200 grit, but I'm going to go up to probably 400 to start. So flip this over, spray a little bit of water on that. I've got a little bit of soap in this water, it tends to help. And now I'm going to work my blade back over this. I've also got this tool here, which again is a $15 tool that you can put your planer iron or your chisel iron in and get that right angle. Again, I've seen overly complicated jigs with this, but basically chisels I want around 30 to 25 to 30 degrees, okay? So I just kind of lay it there and find where it's flat and adjust this as needed. And then we'll draw back on this. As you can see, as I draw back, I'm trying to flatten this out. Take a nice clean rag, wipe it off and see where I'm at. I'm just trying to get a nice flat surface, then go in the back and flatten the back. Make sure there's no burr on the back. That's at 400. Now I'm gonna go up to 600. And do the same thing. Just that little bit. Okay, I can see with this, I'm getting a pretty good front edge at 600 grit. Fill the back, got a little bit of a burr. So now I'm going to take that and just take that back burr off. Make sure it's nice and smooth. And so now I've got a fairly uniform edge here, but it's got some scratches from the diamonds here. Now I'm going to take my Arkansas stone. I'm going to put just a drop of oil in that. A little more than a drop there. Take another rag and kind of wipe that in a little bit. Take off my tool here. And starting with the soft stone I believe is about 800 to 1,000 grit, and the hard stone is about 1,500 grit. And honestly, that's as high as I go. I don't go to 6,000 and 8,000 and all that. Some folks do. I just simply don't. I care about that front edge. I mean, this back here, I would like to polish that out, and sometimes I do take the time to polish this out. But again, these are working chisels, okay? So, find that bevel point and start working this back. You have to get a feel for this. If you put your finger right there behind the blade, you can kind of feel that you got the right angle or not. And this takes some practice. There you go, I'm starting to get a nice shine edge on that. And you can start to see that front edge starting to get a nice shine to it, almost like a mirror. And one of the keys in sharpening is never let your equipment, your tools, get too dull. Okay. Now let's go to our hard stone. Let's start doing that same. Okay, if you look at that now, hopefully you can see that. This part up here is still scratched a little bit, but I don't cut with that. I cut with the very edge. But the very edge of that has now got a mirror, close to a mirror finish. Take the back, take the burrs off of it. Wipe that down. Put that aside. Yeah, I can feel that's getting there. Now I'm going to take my 3 stropping sticks. I'm going to take my coarse, which is black for me. I'm going to take my medium, which is yellow. And my fine, which is the white. And now I'm going to start working that to get that polished edge. Here you can also do it two-handed like that. Goes my next one. Let's go to our fine. As you can see, what I have now is right there at the edge. Hopefully the light can catch that just right. I've got a mirrored edge right there. That chisel's fairly sharp. I've got here a piece of hard maple, and when I press into that, I can, without much effort at all, press in, and that chisel is giving me a pretty good cut. There you go. Without a whole lot of effort at all. Now I want to talk about chisels for a second. This tool to me is the scariest tool in the shop. I've got a bandsaw, table saw, chop saw, planer, all kinds of other tools that can kill you, take a finger off. But I've had more accidents with the chisel than anything, and here's why. I see a lot of folks, and I've done it in the past as well, not thinking, they will try to hold a piece of wood and then try to work the chisel to do stuff. Well, that chisel is going to slip. Chisels will slip. With a little bit of force, when that hits your hand, that's the same as having a knife blade, okay? I got a lot of scars on my thumb, my right thumb, because I'm left-handed, from chisels. So always when you use a chisel, use both hands, secure your workpiece, and always use both hands. Control your chisel with with one hand and push with the back, okay? A chisel is a two-handed tool. All right? So, how to sharpen a chisel, a flat chisel. That was pretty simple. It took, what, 5-10 minutes. So there you have it. Basically, in a few minutes, you're able to sharpen your chisels, your cutting blades, using a simple method, using a diamond stone and some Arkansas stones and a little bit of polishing compound. It's pretty simple. Again, thanks again for watching. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. We definitely appreciate it, and we have a lot of great things in store. Right in front of me right now is this really cool love seat settee that my wife is reupholstering, that we're rebuilding from scratch, and it was basically something that we found in a burn pile. So we're excited to get that to you here pretty soon. Again, thanks and have a fine day.